Hello all of my beautiful little unicorns and welcome back to my channel. And if this is the first time that you're on my channel, please allow for me to introduce myself to you. My name is Vanessa Somuayina and I have created and authored various tarot and oracle decks. You guys know me as the unicorn mom as well as your big sis from the internet. And in today's pick a card tarot readings, I am going to be guiding you through absolutely everything that you need to know about the year 2024. So if you've been wondering what's coming towards you in the upcoming year and you want a precise reading, I'm talking dates, months of the year, exact symbols and numerology sequences that you're going to be seeing, then this is the perfect prediction for you. Now, in order to help you figure out precisely what's coming towards you during the year 2024, I've prepared 4 groups for you to choose from, and I would like you to pick one of these 4 groups intuitively. Before I get into the readings, I also want to let you know that I just published a video on how you can close the gap between your current reality and your dream reality. That will further help you to maximize your manifestations and create your dream life. So I'll leave the link to that below in the description box. And also, if you really connect with my readings and you're inclined to receive a one-on-one with me, which is live via Google Meets, you can check out my one-on-one reading calendar on my website, where you'll also find all of my tarot and oracle decks, which I have self-published. All right, so let's get into it. Group number 1 corresponds to the African Gods Oracle deck as well as the Clear Quartz Point. Group number 2 corresponds to the Divine Feather Messenger Oracle as well as the Pyrite Crystal. Group number 3 corresponds to the Starcodes Astro Oracle as well as the Malachite Crystal. And group number 4 corresponds to the Dark Heart Tarot deck as well as the Rose Quartz Crystal. But the timestamps to all 4 groups can be found below in the description box as well as pinned to the top of the comment section. That way you've got quick and easy access from your mobile devices, your TVs, as well as your tablets. Simply click the timestamp and you'll be fast forwarded to the relevant portion of this video. So now I will provide you with a little moment of privacy so you can meditate on the 4 groups. Feel free to pause the video right here if you need a little bit more time. I do recommend that you pick whichever group that you feel is a representation of the type of energy you would like to exude during the year 2024. And most importantly, don't overthink this. Trust yourself and your intuition. So I'll give you this moment to yourself and then I'll be right back. Alright, so by now you've hopefully been able to choose one of these 4 groups to help guide you and figure out everything you need to know for the year 2024. I will be getting into the reading starting off with group number 1, which corresponds to the African Gods Oracle deck and the Clear Quartz Crystal Point. So if this is the group that you chose, then please continue watching. And to all of my other beautiful groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello group number 1 and welcome to your reading that's all about your upcoming year 2024. You chose the African Gods Oracle as well as the Clear Quartz Point. This is the gorgeous clear quartz and the stone actually helps you to remove and banish any unwanted energies and leave your space as clear as this quartz crystal is, free of any kind of heaviness and unwanted situationships. So let's get into your reading so we can figure out precisely what's coming towards you during the year 2024. And yes, you guys, this deck has mostly cards with black backs, but also a few cards that have this lighter shade too. Oh, okay, we have a card that popped out of the pile that clearly has something to say about the year 2024 for you. So brightness and glories to those who deserve them. That is the mantra for you. You deserve brightness, you deserve glories, and Oshe brings that to you. You are the type of person who has worked hard to get to where you are. You have allowed others to be the ones that took the prize before you because you have grace. There were situations in which you worked harder than others, but you bowed down and allowed others to take credit before yourself. That was not a mistake, group number 1. You deliberately did that, and sometimes it may feel as though you should have just taken your credit, you should have just taken what you could and have run with it like others did. But karma is something that you see with those who did not properly make sure that they earned where they are. You will see a lot of people experiencing a downfall and then finally brightness, glories, and also having public recognition coming towards those who have gone through life with humility, such as yourself. So the year 2024 is definitely going to uncover a lot of darkness in people who were celebrated prior to. There's going to be a lot of drama when it comes to people being revealed for who they truly are. And on the flip side, those who deserve all of the praise are finally going to be able to actually be on that podium, to actually finally have the public recognition that they should have had all of these years, including yourself. Next up, we have got our number 24. I don't want to butcher these names, so I'll just let them be. I could ask my mom about how to properly pronounce this, but you guys, she's not here right now, but maybe I'll ask her next time I go to her house. Anyways, back to your reading. Lying to yourself is the most harmful spell. Remind yourself that sometimes it seems really harmless, like you don't feel like you're actually lying to yourself, but listen to your self-talk. If you say about yourself that you're not sure you can accomplish something, you're not sure you're good enough for something, that is a very harmful spell to think or even speak into existence. So remind yourself in the year 2024, no more self-deprecating words, no more self-deprecating talk. You are seeing words as manifestations and mantras, and you're keeping your mantras clean and clear. That's also why you probably felt so connected to the quartz crystal, because it's time to clear out any kind of self-talk that isn't uplifting and positive. Next up, I just want you to know here in number 16 that the tongue is the whip of the body. Remind yourself that what you say, what you speak is more powerful than you've given it credit for. I'm just going to swap out these two cards, as we did have our glories coming to those who deserve them, which means you, group number 1, was indeed the first card that we received and is known to be the most meaningful one. So I just want to centralize it and make sure that its energy exudes from your reading. But also remind yourself here in your tongue is the whip of your body. 2024 will allow you to discover your true inner self. You've been oblivious to some masks that have been imposed on you throughout your life, and you will be able to achieve much more than you've ever imagined. However, it is important to put lies about yourself aside in order to not set limitations on yourself, okay? So you may be able to deceive others or yourself momentarily. Year 2024 is your year to finally take credit where credit is due, and also to stop saying anything about yourself that you wouldn't say about your close friends, for example. Just think about it. Would you ever say something negative about your mother or your best friend or your sister, your brother? I mean, maybe you would with some of these people, but generally speaking, we want to protect those that we love at all costs, and we would never say anything to bring them down. So why don't you feel like you're deserving of that same kind and loving treatment? That's something to ponder on, group number 1, but we'll move further into your reading. So here we've got the Six of Wands, which showed up for you. And the Suit of Wands corresponds to the element of fire. And the element of fire speaks to anyone who needs to get into their divine masculine and start doing things in a more assertive manner without being so afraid about what others will think or say or feel. As you can see here within the Six of Wands, you've got a whole army behind you. So at one point you may have thought that you're not sure whether people will really have your back. You're not really sure where you're going in certain aspects of your life. But the Six of Wands makes it exceptionally clear that actually your life is moving in a direction where you've got more supporters than you ever thought, than you ever knew. And the Four of Pentacles in reverse shows that the year 2024 brings financial ease, because the Four of Pentacles upright actually means you need to pipe it down with spending, you need to save, and that you're also in a way kind of being stingy, maybe because you need to, but With the Four of Pentacles reversed, which is how you received this card, we can see that finances are flowing pretty freely and things will be easier for you when it comes to paying bills and having enough financial abundance to not worry. So let's see what month of the year is really going to be the month where you feel like, all right, I'm finally feeling better about my finances. We've got the month of March. So indicative of the fact that March corresponds to spring, which is the time where everything kind of grows and starts to recover from winter. I want you to know that the same goes for you and all things in the earthly realms. If you're going through some health concerns or even some seasonal depression at the moment, yes, March may seem like it's still a long ways away, but do know here that sometimes we just need to learn to cope with the fact that our bodies seasonally can feel a little lower and they can feel a little less energetic. And it's okay for you to wait until spring, until March, to have recovered from spending a lot during Christmas and New Year's Eve and feeling kind of depleted because you've been eating unhealthily or indulging in too much alcoholic beverages. Maybe even feeling as though, you know what, the weather, the climate, the lack of vitamin D is just kind of forcing me to feel a little lower than I want to be. But it's okay. I want you to know in the Knight of Cups that there is someone that understands you completely, that would never judge you. The Knight of Cups is a water sign. We've got a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. They are sensitive and they are someone who is pretty mature. They're emotionally extremely intelligent. They're the type of person that you will always be able to talk to and who will also always have your back. And I want to see what month of the year that this person is going to be riding into your life, because this is a new connection for the year 2024. We've got October. So in October, you will find this interesting connection that's coming into your life, group number 1. So I want you to look forward to this, and I want you to also know that the year 2024 is going to have its seasonality, but that also keeps things interesting. Don't feel as though because your body moves with the seasons and your body kind of goes through its own cycle even every single month, that is a downfall. Actually, that just shows that you are extremely amazing at regulating yourself and keeping it together, because despite anything you're going through, despite any challenges, you are actually having a year of personal strength, okay? The Six of Wands shows that you're no longer allowing yourself to be a doormat in any situation. You're no longer allowing for you to be used, whether it's for your body, your time, your emotional safety that you provide. You are not going to allow anyone to use you for anything, group number 1. And that already shows us here that you did not come to play during the year 2024. But I do feel inclined to clear and cleanse the space and come back with a fresh set so that we can move into some more detail. So just hang tight, group number 1. Also feel free to leave a little flower emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you're still here. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you feel at home and comfortable and you like pick a card readings and also other motivational and uplifting type of videos that can help you to create your dream life. So you guys, I'll be right back with you. All right, you guys, let's move further into it. Here, I'm actually using my Dreams of Gaia tarot deck. This is a deck that I really, really love, and no, this is not sponsored. It comes with a huge guidebook. I'm not sure if this is a great beginner's deck, but if you are a tarot deck collector or someone who reads tarot themselves, then I feel like you would really love this deck if you don't already own it. So let's get further into your 2024 readings, shall we? So here within the Maiden, if you haven't had any kids or you're just overall right now not planning to have kids, the Maiden shows that 2024 will stay that way, okay? There will be no unexpected pregnancies or children coming your way. You will remain a maiden. Unmarried, no children, no additional quote unquote baggage. If you already have some sort of baggage that you're entering 2024 with, just know it's going to remain unchanged. There's nothing new coming into your life when it comes to these aspects of going from maiden to mother to wife to matriarch. And that also allows you a little bit of extra time and freedom to really enjoy your solitude and to enjoy the time that you do have and optimize your schedule around the responsibilities that are already in your life. So if you're already in a relationship, really getting that relationship to a healthy, prepared, and strong state before you introduce a new human baby or even a new animal baby into the relationship. If you're single, enjoying another year of dating, of maybe meeting someone, but not necessarily immediately settling down and immediately going into a huge kind of commitment. But rather than that, enjoying being courted, enjoying being chased, and being the center of attention, having a youthful glow and energy, regardless of what age you're at. By the way, group number one, this is about your energy. This is about the vibes that you bring with you. And even if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, it doesn't matter. You can still bring youthful energy with you everywhere that you go, and people can still feel exactly like Spirit wants to tell us in this next card, like you have almost this childlike kind of youthful energy, not in a babyish way, not that you're immature, but it just shows here, rather than passing down childhood trauma that has not been dealt with yet, you are fully stepping into enjoying your life. You are embracing all of the things that you used to love as a child. You are revisiting places in your memory that you loved as a kid and actually physically going there as well, like visiting your old hometown, visiting your old school. And I want you to know here in the maiden and the child that 2024 brings a way more fun version of you out, and you will actually physically look younger. You are not stressed out. Your skin will glow. You will have a lot more of your collagen being able to produce itself and also to retain within your skin, especially in your face. You will have a very youthful look and glow because you're not stressed and you're taking care of yourself. You're taking supplements. You are spending time out in the nature. You're meditating, okay? And it's allowing you to have an extreme transformation and glow up. I see that here within the body mind card as well. You just have this immensely strong connection where your mind and your body are truly one. And whenever you do something that is amazing for your mind, your body feels it as well, and your body gives you the feedback of liking it. So for example, if you engage in meditation, in mindfulness, rather than feeling bloated, rather than feeling like you are uncomfortable in your body, you will find that your digestive system works with more ease. Your sleep pattern is more easy for you to regulate. You fall asleep earlier at night when you want to go to bed early. And also moving around is easier for you. You can run, you can walk, you can jog a lot more easily than you usually would. The workouts that you used to struggle with come with a lot more ease for you during the year 2024 because you are making your peace your utmost important part of your life, and you're not allowing for anyone to come in between this journey. To you, if someone is stressing you out, if you feel like someone has unveiled their mask and shown you their true face, and their true face is ugly, it's full of drama, it is challenging for you to even have a real mature conversation with them, that's just not a place you're even going to be in. That's just not a situation you are even going to entertain, because you have put in too much hard work into yourself and your well-being to let somebody come and disrupt that. You are romanticizing your life. You are living your best life. You are dancing through the meadows. You are having this very elf kind of fairy lifestyle that you're embracing, and also wearing clothes that are more flowy rather than things being tight and revealing and very sensual. You actually like sophisticated elegance, and you like something that is a little more modest but shows that you have no need to show off additional skin. You are comfortable and confident in who you are, the way that you are. Next up, we have the Queen of Earth. Now, this shows us that the year 2024 truly brings a very fruitful energy around you. So while you are fertile and you could engage in the act of adding to your family and having children, if that's what you want, while you could add an additional family member, if you wish to do so, you are choosing to actually nurture ideas and businesses. I see in the Queen of Earth, you want to nurture yourself first and foremost, okay, especially also mentally, and you want to nurture garden. And by garden, I mean it could be houseplants, it could be an actual garden. I just see you growing things, different things you've never grown before, and also being very headstrong. We have that here within the bull, just so that you know that. And seeing through any kind of BS, that comes pretty easily. Your people reading skills are supreme for 2024. I want you to know that what comes with this is being able to build something that will last throughout 2024 and even thereafter. As already mentioned, businesses, for example, as already mentioned, building something that has to do with the earthly realm. So also planting crop that can still bear fruit in the upcoming years. Next up, we've got the pure spirit. So there is truly a reason why you chose the clear quartz. Purification is a big topic for the year 2024 for you. So getting rid of any kind of memorabilia or anything that reminds you of exes, ex-friends, and even family members that you no longer want to energetically carry around with you in your current life is one thing that you're not taking lightly in the year 2024. In 2024, it is so important for you to ensure that you don't have anything that reminds you of a time in which you were dragged down or put down or treated unfairly, because you're in a different place now. You're looking towards the future. You're looking towards the light, and you're leaving the past precisely where it belongs, in the past. And the rainbow waterfall, which we received next for you, shows us here that you will experience some miracles in 2024 that you never expected to happen or to come your way. With the rainbow waterfall, it is clear that you will also travel to some tropical, beautiful destinations that have some stunning butterflies, unique species of butterflies. So if you're thinking of traveling somewhere, just Google what type of butterflies they have there, and I promise you, you will find a red one and also a kind of purplish blue one that is native to that place. And we also have a yellow one here faintly. And I just want you to know that this shows us that connecting with nature, going to magical places on this earth, before it's too late, before the nature is destroyed to a further degree than us human beings have already done, is going to be an experience that you will be able to share with kids and grandkids one day, and with those who are going to come after you. So with the younger generation, you will have a lot of stories to tell about the miracles that you experienced during the year 2024. Next up, we've got emotional baggage. Now, the thing with the year 2024 is that you're realizing more than ever that for so long you've allowed things to live rent-free in your head, and even rent-free in your phone, for example. If you never truly went through all of the images or messages from a situationship or a full-blown ex-husband, ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, you're realizing, wow, like I really could have just gotten rid of that, and that would have released so much baggage that I didn't even know I was carrying on my chest. Trust me, once you get rid of these things, you will feel as though there is a weight that's lifted off your shoulder, but you'll only realize it after you've gotten rid of the things. You don't realize this weight is there prior to you purifying yourself of this baggage. So 2024 is a year in which you're no longer attached emotionally to any kind of material gifts or pictures or images, and even just putting it on like a hard drive and deleting it off of your main phone and computer is already an amazing way to get rid of the baggage. Next up, in the best of you, group number 1, I want you to know that this is going to be a extremely affluent year for you in every single way. This year will bring out the best of you. It will bring out a version of you that you always dreamt of. So right now, group number 1, if you close your eyes, if you take a deep breath in, hold it at the top for 3, 2, 1, sigh it out, you will realize that, wow, the dream version of me is closer than I ever thought it was. Just envision that dream version of yourself. Envision the version of yourself that you think is amazing. And now reach out to her, touch her, hold her arm, literally touch her on her shoulder. Say to her, I can't wait to meet you. And remind yourself that she's right here. She's right in front of you, and you can step into that version of yourself. It doesn't have to be a dream. It doesn't have to be wishful thinking. 2024 allows you to become the best version. Remind yourself in The Ship Has Sailed that the best thing for you to also do, and the only way that you can really step into this dream version of yourself and bridge the gap between your current reality and your dream reality, and you guys make sure you watch out the video that I specifically dedicated to this topic. It's linked below in the description box. I just posted it on my channel a couple days ago. Know here that in order to become that dream version and live that dream life, you have to let go of anyone who has ever disrespected you or ever shown that they didn't value you and your time and your efforts. The ship has sailed for that, okay? No ex is coming back. There are very, very few occasions in which it makes sense or can work out to get back with an ex, but usually, more times than not, you are just more hurt than ever the second time round, and you end up with regrets, asking yourself why you even allowed them back in, because a lot of people come back in and they are more disruptive. They have even less respect for you because you allowed them to come back in. So whether that is a romantic relationship or a friendship or business connection, once the ship has sailed, allow it to be gone, allow it to be out there on the open ocean. You do not need that, group number 1, okay? It won't do anything for you. It will just get in your way. And next up here within Stormy, note that the year 2024 will bring more storms and natural disasters in your area than ever before. So do watch out. Make sure you have your insurance for your home in case something happens. Make sure that that is up to date. Also that you are insured in case you have a health scare where you have to take a lot of expensive tests and so on, because while the year 2024 is going to be a really fantastic year for you, it is definitely also one where you want to make sure that all of these little scares don't become super dramatic, big life events. They won't be, but you just don't need the burden of overthinking whether you can afford it, whether you can stem it, whether you can deal with it. So make sure that all of that is up to date, because the stormy weather will affect you both by maybe feeling a little under the weather and like you have a cold or a flu, and also some sort of like water damage and having the risk of very heavy winds destroying things in a kind of more small scale for you. But make sure that you are fully prepped, and I hope that you guys can appreciate the honesty and that I don't just say what everyone wants to hear, but I really go into a lot of these details of what you can actually do to protect yourself in 2024, even if we got to talk about some things that can be a little challenging or a little scary, because obviously nobody wants to deal with crappy weather having an impact on your home or your living situation. But sometimes it is what it is, and as you know, Mother Nature is a lot more powerful than we give her credit for, and we notice it in these moments when she sometimes just reminds us that we're little humans, and at the end of the day we are guests in her realm, we are not the ones who are allowing her to exist. She allows us to exist. Now, group number 1, I will clear and cleanse the space and we'll move even more deeply into your reading. So just hang tight and I'll be right back with you. All right, group number 1, let's continue on with your reading and see what else is coming towards you during the year 2024 that you need to be aware of. Ooh, we've got the firecrackers. So we've got some sort of heavy excitement here for the year 2024. Something bursting, but in an amazing way. So feeling excitement and anxiety can be really close to one another. So if you're someone who easily feels anxious or just has struggled with anxiety in the past, this can sometimes be nerve-wracking, even when the excitement is a positive type of excitement. But I want you to know here that the firecracker usually indicates something positive coming towards your life, something that you're going to enjoy and you're going to think to yourself, oh, this was a good thing. Next up, we have got the mice. So here within the mice, I see that because of all of this excitement and everything that's going on, there's some discord among friends and family. So some mice, some people who are little pests, as mice is seen as pests in many cultures. I love mice, personally speaking, but I understand that in certain areas of the world or certain cultures, mice can be pests. They can ruin crops. They can leave you without food, basically, because they're just nibbling away and also causing diseases and so on to spread. So here the mice really represent discord among friends and family spreading, and connecting that to the firecracker shows us that jealousy is the root here. And the thing with jealousy is that it's so weird. You may have that with friends and family, but sometimes even with romantic partners, where they're seemingly jealous of your success and your accomplishments. And to you, it's just like, why is this even happening? I don't get it. And I see here that where there will be discord is in dealings or a relationship with a woman with dark hair or a darker complexion. So that's where you will find this discord. That is where you will find that there is a little bit of a unhappy, unlucky pairing. But I just also want you to know, like, this is someone who's maybe looking at you and feeling kind of jealous of all your accomplishments, and just seeing that from afar and then talking behind your back to friends or family about how they feel like, oh, it should have been them, or that, well, you know, they're not really sure why you got all of this exciting news coming your way. So just be aware, group number 1, not to frighten you or anything, but with a lot of success does come 1 or 2 haters. So next up in the thicket of thorns, the thing is that you won't be completely certain who this is, at least for a long while, but your guides are trying to tell you not to overthink it. Now you know that there's definitely going to be a little bit of jealousy. There's definitely going to be a little bit of a sense that there's someone who isn't 100% on your team, would take your position from you if they could, but again, if they could, which they can't. Next, in the spirit guardian of winter, the year of 2024 brings a retreat and brings you being away from the hustle and bustle. So it's almost like the more successful you get, the less you want to show off, the less you want to be out there in the world, the less you want to present yourself on a silver platter, because there are a lot of things to be worried about. We already spoke about how there is jealousy from certain people, but also you want to stay on this wavelength. You want to stay in the energy of accomplishment. You want to stay in the art form of receiving from the universe, of being the one who gets everything that they want. And in order to stay within that space, you also just need to retreat at times. You can't always be out amongst people who are pulling you and pushing you from one place to another. Next, we've got the pure spirit. So for you, group number 1, the year of 2024 brings a purification of your friend circle and friend group, because you are able to tell the more you accomplish, the more you do, the easier it is for people to pretend to be on your side, but actually kind of feel a little uptight around you. So because you are gaining so much social status, the right people are flocking towards you, and the people who just in a way can't take that you started on the same note and in the same spot, but you've surpassed them so much, those are the ones we're weeding out. And here within It's Up to You, the thing is, like, you've decided it's easier and better and more fulfilling for you to remove yourself from being forced into friend groups with people you've known since high school or middle school. You've decided it's up to you to make your life, and you want a life that isn't stagnant. So it's not surprising that you don't vibe with those people, or that you're kind of always the odd one out in that friend group. Sorry guys, I'm just rearranging our little foliage over here. So it is truly not surprising that you can feel like the odd one out, or even look like the odd one out. Remind yourself here that you made that choice consciously, especially during times where you feel a little bit put on a pedestal and put out for everyone to look at and a little exposed. Okay, you are going to be exposed at the perfect time. That's what we've got here within perfect timing group number 1. When things are meant to happen, they will happen in quick succession, and you will be unable to stop the success and stop the forward moving, because as already mentioned, it's meant to happen. It's meant to be something that starts to get the ball rolling, and the perfect timing is the year 2024. The perfect timing is the upcoming calendar year, because 2023 and 2022, they were something, but 2024 is where you're really going to find a lot of additional success and excitement, even though it's uncertain and it can be a little overwhelming. Trust me that you've got this. Let's see what month that Spirit wants you to be really aware of when it comes to perfect timing and this huge kind of wave of excitement. So Spirit, let us know for group number 1. All right, the 7th month, which is the month of July. So July is going to be probably one of the most exciting months. Project-wise, personal life-wise, you may already have a hunch why that may be, or a goal that you've set out where you know the culmination may be in July. So this is your confirmation and your reassurance that that's when your little firecracker is going to catch fire and make your life all sorts of exciting. So group number 1, this is the reading that I received for you, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out the description box, things such as booking one-on-one readings with me, also my decks, my crystals, and high quality 925 silver and crystal jewelry. Everything is below in the description box that you may need. Also, of course, check out my blog. There are a lot of very helpful posts on there that you can read to help support yourself with. Now, group 1, thank you so much for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me. And I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to your reading. You chose the Divine Feather Messenger deck as well as the Pyrite crystal. The Pyrite, by the way, is also known as Fool's Gold, and if you guys have ordered from my online store bowlife.com before, then chances are really high that you received a little freebie in form of a Pyrite just like this one with your order. But let's get into your reading so we can figure out precisely what is coming towards you in the year 2024. So first up, I just want you to know this feather belongs to the peacock. And the peacock is a very loud and proud type of bird. The message that this brings in connectivity to 2024 for you is that you've got some inherent wisdom emerging at this time, and to watch it and ready yourself for a rebirth. So 2024 is going to be transformational for you in the form of finally stepping into who you've always meant to be, and finally becoming this higher version of yourself where you're not afraid to show your feathers, right? Where you're not afraid to be loud, outspoken, to say what it is that you desire, and to fully be yourself externally too. So if you feel like you've been dimming yourself on an external plane, you haven't been wearing the clothes, the makeup that you've always loved and adored on other people, maybe you've always wanted to have your hair a certain way, but you didn't want to invest in it financially and felt like you weren't confident that you could do it, it or pull it off, know that 2024 is bringing these changes on a cellular level for you, where you are finally stepping into becoming the version of yourself you've always dreamt of, and the version of you that you see when you look at others and you admire them. You know, when you check out someone's Instagram or YouTube and you look at them and you think, wow, like they're so gorgeous. I wish I could do my hair or my nails like that. I wish I could speak so confidently. Well, 2024 is finally bringing you just that type of energy. So next up, this reminds me of the dove. Let's see what we've got. It's actually a white swan. So with the white swan, the message is that the power of divine grace is within you. And the swan is a super, super graceful bird. If you've seen a swan in real life, then you know that they're just stunning, breathtaking, and slightly intimidating as well. And that kind of sums up you for 2024. Stunning, slightly intimidating, breathtaking, and very elegant, very graceful. And I want you to understand here with the white swan that to a certain degree, it is also like a fake it till you make it era. Just picture a swan on the water and they look so graceful, how they're just kind of floating and drifting, but actually beneath the surface, they've got their little legs like pedaling like this very quickly, which is not very graceful, but you don't see that, right? That is below the surface. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. My below the surface oracle deck is still on my website, you guys. There are still some copies available if you want to get that one. No pun intended. Did not plan to plug my BTS deck at this point, but I just couldn't resist, you guys. But anyways, below the surface, things are happening that are not so graceful, that don't look as elegant, but it's fine, because at the end of the day, what you don't know can't hurt you. So the white swan definitely shows us an image, a depiction of you being put together, and not everyone needs to know your business. Not everybody needs to know that actually you struggle with seasonal depression. Not everybody needs to know that that ex dogged you out, cheated on you, and made you have low self-esteem that you're still trying to rebuild, you know? Fake it till you make it is all about externally making sure that you're not attracting people who want to prey on your weaknesses or see any kind of weaknesses within you. Now, within be open to receiving, know that the year 2024 will bring you a lot of gifts. This is why you are being called to be open to receiving. Because on an external plane, you are crafting an image of yourself that is so deserving of receiving, where people feel like, wow, she is amazing. She deserves the world. I will give this to her. I need to give her the world in order to even have a sliver of her attention. So especially when dating, even if you had a very tumultuous relationship history or you were done really dirty in a past relationship, don't tell the next lover, the next person that you're with. They don't need to know. All they need to know is that you received a lot of goodness and attention and it just didn't work out, because otherwise they may start to think that your standards are low and they may breadcrumb you in a way that they wouldn't if you just told them that, you know, it was fine, it just didn't work out. Because let's remember, if we really want to talk about these things, we've got friends, family, and therapy for that, not the next romantic partner to dump on, because avoiding dumping on the next romantic partner will have you receiving everything that you want from the upcoming relationship. But again, we've got to present ourselves like the peacock and the swan as put together, as someone who is not desperate, someone who has had nothing but loving and respectful partners and does not intend on that changing moving forward. So they will have to update their system. Anyone who comes around you in the year 2024 will have to be an updated and upgraded version of themselves. You are not going to accept anyone who is doing bare minimum for themselves or trying to do bare minimum for you. And 2024 will also bring some updates in the sense and way of you getting like a new phone, a new laptop, and also a security system. That's a message that I'm getting here. Security is really important to you. And for some reason you are spooked from what you're seeing in the news or in other local neighborhoods. I also just want to add a charm into this intuitively for you so we can see what else we've got here. Ooh, okay, we've also got a cat. So there is a cat in your life in the year 2024 that will be important. A playful one, as you can see here, a young kitten. A cat that's going to kind of take you out of overthinking mode. It can be your cat, also one that's coming to you just by choice, by accident, from a neighbor or somebody that you're spending a lot more time with, like a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Next, we've got big changes. So undoubtedly, group number 2, the year 2024 is going to bring some huge changes. I mentioned the dove earlier and how the feather of the white swan reminded me of the dove, and now we did receive a symbol of the dove after all. So these big changes will bring peace. As you probably know, the dove is symbolic of just that, peace and harmony. And overall, your big changes are going to leave you feeling like you are winning in life. So the year 2024 is an interesting one for you, group number 2. It's definitely going to be one for the books. And I want to add in some letters because Spirit can speak very precisely when we actually focus on like real words. So let's see what we've got here. So I intuitively picked a few letters. Okay, we've got T-A-R, art, art or rat or tar. Those are the 3 different versions in which we can move these letters. But 2024, art is going to be a focal point. If you're not huge on art or museums, then know that this kind of interest is going to grow extensively, and you will also receive some sort of art that is valuable in the year 2024. And you're going to get more and more into this because you're also realizing the kind of people who love art, who are into it, are the kind of people that you want to hang out with. They're on the same wavelength. A lot of them come from a well-educated type of background. A lot of them come from a household that you would aspire your spouse to come from and your close friends. So 2024 being like art is a huge sign that this is the year for you. This is going to be a fortunate one. Remind yourself also here in the Pyrite, which I already mentioned is also known as the Fool's Gold. This is actually a stone and a crystal that helps you attract more abundance and luck, which is precisely why I also give it out as freebies within all Bow Life orders or almost all Bow Life orders, because here the Pyrite is something that I want all of you to attract. I want you to attract more wealth, more abundance, because that way your mind can rest at ease and at peace, and you guys can focus on other things such as your health and friends and family. Now, the Earth Spirit shows us huge stability being created in the year 2024. You're done with inconsistent people. You're done with unstable relationships. So for the year 2024, one of your big goals and things that you're actually sticking to is to only entertain what brings stability to you, both emotionally, but even financially as well. Like anything that's a bad habit, such as spending too much money on a particular website or impulse buying on your way home or on your way to work, you are actively preventing yourself from doing that by, for example, always having snacks and yummy drinks in your fridge and with you, so you're not ordering food or going out and getting takeout, which is not as healthy and also costs a lot more than stocking up yourself. Again, we've got prosperity here with the bee spirit. Leave a little bee emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you're part of group 2, and also just to manifest all of this abundance, prosperity, goodness, all of this receiving that you're doing. 2024 is really putting you in the art of receiving, group number 2. It's undeniable that there's a lot of also material wealth coming your way, like receiving gifts, receiving things that are worth a lot, that are very valuable, and being the one who is finally not feeling like cringing whenever someone gives them something, you know? Like 2024, you're finally realizing that if people don't give these things to you, they'll just give it to someone else. So you might as well accept it, especially if someone wants to gift you something. So here we've got some runes. to my left, and then to my right, we've got some Astro dice. So we're going to start off with the runes. I will just intuitively see what Spirit has here. Let's go a little deep. Oh, okay, one rune popped out, actually. This is the rune of Awaz, okay? Let me just zoom in for you. Now, Awaz is the rune of the tree, and it shows stability, strength, as well as enlightenment and reliability. This makes a lot of sense, especially the stability part. The strength 2024 is your jam, group number 2. I also just want to roll our Astro dice for us. All right, so here I believe we have got Neptune. There we go. All right, so Neptune is actually the planet of imagination, and Neptune is the planet of spirituality and the arts. So it makes a lot of sense that we also received Neptune here within this reading, as we had art that was literally spelt out by Spirit for you. So this year is going to be full of also creating your own art, hanging up art on your wall, and delving more deeply into being artistic yourself, okay? Actually partaking in either painting, in creating music, and doing artsy things that you can hang up in your home and your living space, and also gift to others. I also want to see numerologically what we're getting. Okay, we've got the number 12. Now, this is actually a number of putting yourself first and finding balance through that. The number 1 is a number of, you know, being a little you-centric, and the number 2 shows balance. So being more focused on yourself will actually bring you balance, group number 2. And if we add 1 and 2 together, we've got 3, which is a number of socializing, of being in a group, of not being afraid to party with others, to have a good time. So the year 2024 is a year where, through caring for you, you're caring for others and making more time to spend with others, because you're not in hermit mode. You're not in a place where you're hiding yourself from the public and from hanging out in social situations and social circles. Now, group 2, this is the reading I've received so far. Please allow me to clear and cleanse the space, because we've got many more messages coming for you for the year 2024. So just hang on tight and I'll be right back with you. Hello, group number 2, and let's delve a little more deeply into your 2024 predictions, shall we? So I'm going to carry on for you within this reading. I hope that you're doing well. Check in with yourself. How are your shoulders feeling? If needed, try to just lower them, relax your body into this sacred space so we can figure out everything that you need to hear. So first up, we've got the guardians of the land. If right now, when you checked in with your shoulders, you just felt a little stiff, or like you were pulling them up towards your ears, like they were not really relaxed and down and making your body feel as though you can ground yourself. Know here in the Guardians of the Land that this shows that you constantly feel like you've got to protect yourself. And I mean, it makes sense. We do live in a world where people can be challenging, situations and other humans can be cruel, and feeling a need for protection is completely normal, especially if you're used to protecting yourself and taking care of yourself, because maybe you didn't have anyone else to protect you in many moments where you would have needed their protection, or they even promised you protection, but they didn't follow through on this. Really, really deep traumas with this can happen when it's a caregiver, like a parental figure, that failed to protect you, or a spouse, a boyfriend, a girlfriend that you were in a relationship with and promised you they would be there for you and protect you, but you ended up figuring out the only thing you actually needed protection from was their negligence and their cruelness. So with the Guardians of the Land, just know that in 2024, yeah, you do have your guard up, but rightfully so. You are no more the type of person who just gives like free access passes out to be able to access your energy. You have to pay a premium for this. And what that does is it weeds out the people who can't afford you. And now I don't mean paying as in literally paying dollar amounts to you, but paying in the sense of when it comes to kindness, respect, gentleness, showing you that they are on the same level, that they are on the same kind of wavelength when it comes to standards before you allow anyone to be too close to you. Next up, we've got the Spirit Guardian of Winter. So the Spirit Guardian is another protective card where you're very protective over your home. You don't want to allow anyone into your home anymore that might mistreat you or might disrespect you and your home. You don't want those energies anymore, and 2024 is a year in which you're cleansing a lot. So purchasing sage, crystals, incense, and really saging the S out of your space is a big thing for you that you will routinely do just to make sure that any kind of old dead energies are just gone and not lingering on anymore. Any energies of past relationships are not a thing that are still affecting you in the current. Now, the dragonfly spirit also shows us here that 2024 brings profound change. Now, due to the fact that you are respecting yourself and your space so deeply, it also brings a lot of change in your environment, and it actually makes it more peaceful and beautiful and allows things to flow more easily. Because rather than actually like worrying about how people are going to behave that you've got around yourself, you can put all of that time and energy and focus into the things that can get you ahead in life. Like, rather than worrying whether your boyfriend will behave himself or whether that friend of yours will act right, you can actually focus that energy on you. So being more me-centric for 2024 is going to bring you a lot of the change that you desperately needed in order to feel healthy in your headspace and not like you're constantly overwhelmed with tasks and things to think of, because we often don't realize how work can take up a lot of time and energy, but sometimes it's also a lot of heaviness that others bring into our lives that make things feel fuller and way more cluttered than they actually are. So next up, we've got Odie, and Odie brings you the message that there is no easy way when pain comes from the heart. 2024 will teach you some huge lessons about healing, about understanding your pains and your aches, and rather than feeling like judging yourself for not getting over a hard situation more quickly. So it can be something like a breakup from someone that you really loved and thought you would be with forever. You thought they were the one. Another thing in Odie is processing the pain of losing a loved one or a pet that you just can already tell is getting older, and where you know like that painful moment is going to come, and you just understand that there's no easy way to process it. There's no easy way out. As human beings, there are just certain life events where we have to learn to keep ourselves in a space that is supportive but isn't rushing you. And I don't want to scare you for 2024 or make you feel like, oh my God, that has to happen. Like, it is something that you might still be carrying with you from the past. Like, if you haven't properly gotten over a past relationship or a death, this doesn't mean a new one is coming into your life, like a new breakup, a new loss of someone that you know. But what this does pertain to is to remind yourself in 2024 that there's nothing that you can do to rush healing. It will come whenever you've done the work on a consistent basis. Now the Ten of Pentacles shows us you resting and kind of resting on your laurels, as the Suit of Pentacles corresponds to the element of earth, and it pertains to everything in the material realm. So your job, your financial success, the things that you own, your time, your health. The number 10 is a very favorable number. It is a number of completion. It is a number of actually having everything that you want and not needing for anything. And the 10 of Pentacles being such a card of rest and relaxation, we also have 3 kittens here that are resting with you. And one is a white cat, one is a black cat, one is an orange cat. Just know here that 2024 resting and potentially doing so with your cats as well, if cats are in your life, is going to be something that no longer makes you feel like you're lazy or you're not doing enough, because you're resting on laurels of what you've accomplished and you're finally taking the credit. So we have a card that popped right out as we were shuffling. Let's see what it is. All right, we've got the Empress. Now, in case you didn't know this, the Empress is a card of power in your divine feminine energy. And again, we've got two cats here. Cats are symbolic of independence and also have this very seductive kind of no BS feminine energy to them. If you've been around cats or you're a cat owner, you would know this. Now, the Empress is actually also a card of supporting other women, supporting other goddesses, other empresses, and being supported when you need it, when you feel like your veil, your crown, or your coat is kind of falling, someone helping you out with this. So having very strong bonds with other people who are in their secure divine feminine, and having fertile grounds is another message in the Empress. The Empress is a card that represents fertility. So being fertile is one thing, having kids is another. If that's not something that you're ready for in 2024, you know what to do. Take necessary precautions however you choose to. But just know overall that the year 2024 definitely brings opportunity for fertile grounds to grow things for you, to grow business ventures or literally another living being. So here within the Empress, don't be afraid to make new friendships, because a lot of these new friendships are actually going to be so mature, so supportive, so kind and sweet. You will think to yourself, thank goodness I was open to this. So next up, we have the Seven of Wands. Now, the Seven of Wands shows us here that there is this kind of energy of getting things done, of like attacking what's before you, not taking no for an answer, fighting for what you want, and to kind of like clear out the competition. It brings a fearlessness to the 2024 prediction we've got here for you. And it shows that obstacles in your way don't scare you. They actually kind of excite you, because you just want to cut them down. You just want to get rid of those obstacles. Like, you don't want them to continue to prevail and to stick around. So that's where I definitely see here that 2024 brings this energy of fearlessness to get to where you need to go. And the Page of Pentacles brings really great news when it comes to your career, okay? This is the bringer of amazing messages to all things earthly related. So your health, also your career, your well-being when it comes to your overall condition. And I just want you to know here that it is also a card of scholarship. It is a card of accomplishment when it comes to your education. So as the Page of Pentacles shows up, it just shows you here that through the fearlessness to overcome obstacles, you're actually going to find that sooner rather than later, you have great news coming your way that connects and attaches to the obstacles that you broke through and the path that you paved. And I want to see what month this is going to be in. So group number 2, December of next year, is going to be wild when it comes to promotions, when it comes to amazing news, when it comes to an increase in money. And it can also be that, you know, you're looking back at 2024. In December, you will look back at 2024 and you'll think to yourself that you're so proud of all of the growth and all of the action that you took that actually brought you amazing results. And next, we've got the letter V, which I, of course, love. As you guys know, I'm a little Miss V, Miss Vanessa. Now, the letter V is actually the letter that brings the message of victory in an endeavor. Victory is yours, group number 2. 2024 is finally a year that you will be looking back at and you'll think to yourself, this was an amazing one. this was an amazing change from where I was in the pandemic and then post-pandemic, and 2023 vibes were just not quite where I needed it to be. However, 2024 was worth the wait. So definitely see that 2024 will bring victory in the endeavors that you're passionate about and where you want to make a change, where you want to actually negotiate and do things in business, anything where you feel competitive. It can also be sports. I want you to know here that this puts you kind of above any of the enemies, any of the people who you're up against, and they're unable to reach you. They're unable to get onto your same level because you've just come into a different state of flow in the year 2024. So group 2, I will clear and cleanse the space, and then we'll add a little more into your reading. So hold on tight, and I'll be right back with you. Hello, group number 2. So let's get a little more into it, shall we? Let's see what else we've got going in 2024 for you. So we've got opportunity, and I want to figure out precisely what type of opportunity that Spirit speaks of here for your year 2024. Let's figure out what month this opportunity is coming towards you so we can get real specific. All right, so in February, you'll have a big opportunity that comes your way, and we want to know what this opportunity is all about, don't we? So we've got the youth for one, and next we've got healing. All right, so the opportunity that comes your way is healing a wound from your childhood, healing a wound from a time where you were younger. So if you had a dream, like you always wanted to do more music, maybe you wanted to become an actor, maybe you were someone who wanted to be a business owner, you wanted to try something, a new hobby, but somehow you never got around to it or it fizzled out. I want you to know that in February comes an opportunity to heal that feeling of loss and of regret that you never did it. Because even though sometimes it seems so ridiculous, and if you're in your late teens or 20s or 30s, it feels like, oh my God, I went my whole life without following through on this dream, and I'm gonna die, I'm gonna perish without ever having lived this dream. But group number 2, calm down, okay? Allow yourself to know here that in February, there will be the opportunity to still do something that you felt like you'll have a lifelong regret of, okay? So this could be in the form of seeing some sort of club that you can join that's really close to you, where you can actually like engage in these activities that you've always wanted to do. It could be in form of a business offering where someone actually offers you to be part of a business and a new career that lets you take on the type of career path that you've always dreamt of. Just know here that you'll have this oddly satisfying time during February when it pertains to something that you thought you would have to see as water under the bridge or a bygone or a lost opportunity in your life, that then kind of rears its head again and shows you, no, you still have an opportunity to make that part of your story and make that part of history. So let's see what number that is important for you, group number 2, with our dice. Okay, so we've got the number 12. Now, seeing the number 12 is one that kind of reminds us of your month of December that we had in your previous spread, right? Because that's the 12th month of the year. But another thing about the number 12 is that it shows a great balance of finding yourself, making yourself like the center of attention, but also being open to sharing the spotlight with others. If you've always like wanted to do something that helps other people, February is the time where it will finally become a reality for you. And seeing the number 12 during the month of February will happen often. Like on the clock, seeing 12:12 a.m., p.m., seeing it on license plates and also house numbers. And an opportunity comes in February to actually relocate to a house number with the number 12 in it. So let's see what we've got. We've also got some strong Gemini energy. Now, Gemini energy in February is interesting. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. It's very adaptable, very communicative, inquisitive, and in a way, Gemini energy kind of makes me nervous sometimes because you guys are so quick and witty, like mentally speaking. It is intimidating to others sometimes. So having like Gemini show up, which is ruled by Mercury, shows us here that in February, like communication is key, saying what you want, and then you will be able to get what you want. Like if, for example, something you've always wanted since you were a kid that you thought you're now too old for, like for example, an opportunity to do music, an opportunity to go back to school, study something else, an opportunity to be a stay-at-home wife. I mean, whatever your dream was, especially if you watched too much TV, too much Bravo, that is something that is coming your way in the month of February. And you have to also communicate like what your non-negotiables are and what you want. And with this like Libra placement that we've got here for February, it is about reminding yourself, like, don't feel ashamed to ask for what you want. This Libra placement, which is ruled by Venus, actually shows us here that people are giving you this opportunity because you are more attractive than you've given yourself credit for, and you have some pretty privilege going for you here in February that will really rear its head, and you'll think to yourself, oh, I didn't know I had this. I didn't know this would come towards me, but look at me during the month of February, and I'm going to enjoy this and have the best time with it. So February is looking really awesome for you. Group number 2, I just want to add a couple more cards into your reading to see what else comes up for 2024. We've got the best of you. Now, you guys, actually, I'm going to clear and cleanse the space, and we will carry on with the best of you with like a clean space, because I feel like now we're so much in this February energy, which we've already discussed, we've already seen, we've already figured out, but now I want to move into like more other messages that are coming towards you. Oh, and on a side note, here within healing, there's a frog that's looking up to this individual. Frogs in February. It's going to be like, why am I seeing frogs? Why am I seeing the number 12? Why am I seeing symbols of frogs, real frogs? Don't be surprised. Group number 2, that is just your symbol. So as already mentioned, I'll clear and cleanse the space and I'll be right back. Group number 2. So as we spoke about before, the best of you shows us that 2024 is really a time where, funnily enough, you're not actually working as much. You're spending a lot of time caring for yourself and also doing some things you haven't done before, like taking yourself out to the spa, running beautiful baths, like going to expensive hairdressers that can cut your hair amazingly, style it for you amazingly, and then just kind of let you wear that style for longer because you have better quality. And you're also like realizing, wow, the best of me really comes out when I pick certain areas of my life and I don't scrimp out on them. That's where I go full out and I remind myself that I deserve this. Now, no strings attached shows us here that your attachment issues, group 2, where do we begin? I do see that if you are the kind of person that identifies as anxiously attached, which means that you often feel like you need a little bit more validation from a partner. You feel like you like to spend a lot of time with them, like you're very sensitive to their feelings, and you sometimes worry that they will leave you even though they haven't actually said anything to back that up, but it's just a fear that you have. I just want you to know that in this year, your attachment style is kind of changing and shifting. And this is something that is possible. Just because you're in one attachment style doesn't mean that you have to be in it forever. So know that 2024 brings a shift from more anxiously attached to more securely attached for those of you who are anxious style attachment. And any of you who are in an attachment style that is secure or avoidant, you will just continue to be you, but the better version of you, okay? The version of you that does know precisely when to check your attachment and to remind yourself not to run from anything or not to downplay your feelings, but at the same time, like, you don't let your feelings take over all of your decision making and like your entire life. So 2024 is looking as though you're really making some progress in who you are psychologically speaking and who you are when it comes to your character. Like, it is a year of personal character development and transformation. So next up within this card, I want you to know here that it communicates the message that when death calls, there's no place to hide. And I know this sounds so hard. It sounds very deep. It sounds very dark, but hear me out, group number 2. You guys know I wouldn't be the unicorn mom if I just left you with a scary message and just told you, well, it is what it is. That's not how it is here. With these kind of African gods tarot cards, I just want you to know, or excuse me, oracle cards, I want you to remember that we do live in a privileged society where even things such as death are not, I mean, I think they're even censored. I don't even know how this will go over on YouTube, being able to talk about these things. But I just want you to know that we censor this, but it's a reality in many countries where people know that when the time comes or when time has run out, there's no place to hide, you know, whether it is a sick animal or an elder in a village. Just think of it this way, like when you watch documentaries of other countries where people are struggling to get by, people barely have any food or medical supplies, which is the reality in a lot of places. It's very clear to them that when the time has come for something to end, whether it's a life or whether it's a cycle, it just is what it is. And there's no point in mentally like breaking down because there's no time for it. You just gotta keep going. Now, that is not to make you feel like that is the mindset you need to adopt, or like, you know, death is something that's on its way for 2024. It just shows you here as the death card in tarot and oracle decks represent the end of an old version and an old structure and the beginning of a new one. And when the end of something old needs to happen and needs to come, there is nowhere to hide. That structure will fall apart. Now, if you have a home, for example, that's built on a wonky foundation, let's apply that now to relationships that are built on a foundation that isn't solid. When death calls of that relationship, when the end of that relationship calls, there is no place to hide. It is inevitable. It will break apart. The same for the house built on the shaky foundation. Once there is a storm, once the damage or kind of like the dampness that may have made the foundation just moldy and unable to hold up the structure, once the time has come, there's no place to hide, and one will have to either fix it, take it down, but in either way, one will need to rebuild. And I want you to just know that because you have this fearlessness in 2024 of not attaching yourself to things so much anymore, not placing your worth and your value on someone else being in your life or how long a certain structure is around, you know that no matter what tumbles around you, you can build back up and you can recreate. That is something that leaves you a lot less hurt and a lot less vulnerable than others and than the past you. And instead, we've got the best of you shining through, because you know that that's the whole point of life. Life is all about evolution and change, and nothing lasts forever. Not even myself, not even you. Nothing is going to remain unchanged forever on this planet. And coming to terms with that is something that shows a great deal of growth and maturity, and also being in the moment, living in the present. Now, group 2, this is the reading that I received for you, and I hope that you found it insightful and that you enjoyed it. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel to never miss another prediction. And also, if you'd like more videos and more uncensored content, feel free to check out my Patreon too. It's linked in the description box. All of my crystal rings and tarot and oracle decks that I've published can also be found in the description box for all of you who are interested in those. And overall, I just want you guys to know that I'm sending you nothing but healing vibes straight through the screen. I hope you can feel the warmth around your chest and your body, and I'm sending you nothing but love. I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming videos. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your 2024 prediction on absolutely everything that you need to know for this upcoming calendar year to be as prepared as you possibly can be. So this is the Malachite crystal. This is actually a palm stone because, as you guys can see, it fits perfectly in your palm. It's great for meditating or even just holding if you feel really anxious. Like, even just holding this crystal right now, I can feel its grounding energy. It just makes me feel so supported. And sometimes I like to just hold on to these palm stones when I'm feeling kind of all over the place or a little anxious. I'll leave the link to this below, by the way. Don't say that I didn't tell you, because I know you guys always love to get all of the crystals that I have from my store. So let's get into it, you guys. This is the Malachite, and we've got your Starcodes Astro Oracle deck to help guide you into 2024 and everything that you've got to know about this upcoming year. So first up, we've got Ceres as well as the 10th house. So I want you to know here that during 2024, what you're actually doing is you're nurturing everybody in your life who is older, okay? Everybody who is advanced in age, you are realizing the kind of morbid fact that mortality is a real thing. Humans won't live forever. So it's really important for you to even bring like flowers to your parents, grandparents, if you're still lucky enough to have them, to those older than you who are just part of your lineage and your family. And to remind yourself here in the 10th house, like, they are the mountains of the family. They are kind of like the matriarchs, the ones who kept everything together, and also in way harder times than we live in, still remained strong. Like, the things they went through and experienced are worth being given credit for, finally. And the 10th house just also shows that you're the type of person who actually doesn't have an issue with authority. Of course, as long as it's like a respectful relationship and connection. But anyone who is in a position of authority will really feel from you like they've got respect, and that you also see the ways in which that they have made sacrifices for the collective and for you. So let's move a little further into this, shall we, to figure out more of what's going on in 2024. So we've got the moon. I want you to know that your intuition is going to guide you a lot during the year 2024. Did I just call it the month 2024 before? If I did, I apologize. If I didn't, let's just pretend like I never asked about it again. So here within the moon, definitely know that your intuition is going to give you some deja vu moments in 2024 where you're like, I feel like I've already experienced this. You're going to go to a place and feel like it's already happened, like it's a very surreal experience. And the first time it will happen will be when you're out in nature near some mountains and really big trees. You're going for a walk or a hike. It is like a sunset or a sunrise, and you feel as though you've already been here. You've already experienced this. And when this shows up in correlation to the moon, the 10th house, as well as what we were talking about with those who came before you, your elders, it is actually activating the inner compass and lineage that you have with your ancestors and the past versions of yourself. So old you, past life you, has probably already been in this nature place, this nature reserve that you're going to visit in the year 2024. Past you has already been out where these mountains are, has already experienced the sunset or sunrise where you're going for this walk or hike, which is why it feels so familiar in an inexplicable way to you. And that is just you connecting with your past life. Next up, we've got the first house. Now, the first house, in case you didn't know, is the house of your persona, your identity, your physical body, and it does rule Aries, okay? The first house rules Aries, and that is like typically the sign of the first house, which makes sense why we've got this red, pinkish, fiery kind of aura here with the deer, the stag. And this can represent being really headstrong, having a very strong will. And we've also got a depiction of the world, of a globe hidden here behind these leaves. So it does show that you are arriving at a headstrong place where you feel like the world is your oyster and like nothing can stop you. Like this is finally a time in which you're coming for everything that you've dreamed of, and you're not going to let insecurities or overthinking get in the way like it has in the past. Furthermore, one thing I really need to point out to you, group number 3, here we've got the number 39, 29, 48, and 19. Literally all of these numbers contain the number 9 in their second digit, except the 10th house. But other than that, we've got 39, 29, and 19. And it also is a development in succession, right? We've got 19, 29, 39, all of these numbers, there's no gap between it. It's a succession of like every 10 steps, every 10 numbers, we get to it again. Now, the number 9 reoccurring and potentially also having angel number 999 show up constantly in the year 2024 is actually very rare. It's not a number that you often receive in a symbolic way and in a subliminal way. So when you start to notice this number showing up for you, group number 3, I want you to pay close attention to it. And I want to remind yourself that this is a number that shows you that this is the path forward. When you see a house with the number 999 as a house number, for example, and you were just thinking of the next steps to take in your life, know that this validates that. If you move forward in some sort of business venture and you see the number $999 for some reason, or $999, you will know, okay, this is where I need to go. This is where I need to be. These are my angels telling me that it's the right choice. It's the right deal at this particular time. So seeing the number 999 is something I just want you to make a little mental note of. But overall, numerologically speaking, the year 2024 is definitely looking unique for you, because these numbers, a lot of them are also prime numbers, right? When we've got the number 19, I believe that is a prime number. Is the number 29 a prime number? I believe it is one too. As you can see, we have a strong representation of nature and foliage. So the stag showing up as a symbol. Think, for example, a piece of jewelry or a t-shirt with like a stag symbol for the year 2024 shows that you're strong, headstrong, and you're unafraid to follow your own intuition. And having like the foliage in the first house in our card of Ceres, then also in the 10th house, we've got nature. This is a place in which you can recharge, and your safe place in 2024 that you're connecting with more and making more use of. So group number 3, I'm going to clear and cleanse the space, and then we'll continue to move into your reading. So just hold on tight and I'll be right back. Welcome back, group number 3. So let's delve more deeply into your prediction, shall we? Now, first up, we've got heaven and earth. I want you to know here that this shows us that 2024 is going to bring you so many great experiences where you feel like you are experiencing heaven on earth, basically. Now, when this card shows up, as you can see, it is very much like an earthy vibe kind of card. We also have like some coins here, some sort of like letter of receiving money, as we also have some numbers here, and it's like a very positive earthy vibe about everything in the earthly realms and the material realms that is coming your way. So don't be surprised if you get some sort of extra money through windfall, like inheritance and so on. And we have some interesting spirit animals here for you. Now we have the wolf, we have the black horse, we have a white ram, we have a bear, as well as an owl. So having these show up shows you like a connection to earth and to animals, where you understand, all right, these are really strong spirit animals. They're wise, they're strong. They're the ones who are kind of like the winners, if you will, because they aren't like mice, for example, right? That are mostly just for food, if you will, and seen as pests in many ways. Not that I feel that way about mice, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. But when it comes to your spirit animals, they're all very strong, very out there. We already had the stag, which is not really an animal that immediately flees. Of course, with the horse, we do the dark horse. It is a black horse. It has an intimidating aura and energy. And it is, of course, one of those animals that does flee when there's danger. But I just want you to know here that having the black horse as a symbol just shows a stronger version of it, a version of it that represents you no longer running at the sight of challenge, difficulty, but actually standing your ground. Next up, we've got the Mother card. So as you see, she sits here in the throne. She is pregnant. The Mother has this wreath on her head, this beautiful connection to Earth. It is a reminder of how kind of amazing it is for a lot of females. And why I say a lot is because not everybody is able to, but women in general, or an able-bodied woman, would be able to give birth. And that's something that is actually so wild and mind-blowing. And it is just such queen and goddess energy that we're getting here from the Mother. And we also have the turtle, which shows us wisdom and taking things slow. And motherhood is something that will definitely like slow you down. As mentioned, like a lot of people are able to have kids. If you are able to, then make sure that you either know that this is a fertile year, or you take necessary precautions to not move into the role of the mother. But this is not just about pregnancy and having children and taking things slower and caring for yourself and sitting confidently like in your throne while being so connected to your ancestors, so connected to Mother Nature, because what you're doing is like one of the biggest miracles of nature. But it's also just about exuding like divine goddess energy. If you want to learn more about this whole topic, by the way, and how to really exude divine feminine goddess energy, check out my channel. I posted a video. It's called Closing the Gap Between Your Current Reality and Your Dream Reality. And I also discuss how divine goddess energy can help you to close that gap and lead the life of your dreams, being the person you've always wanted to be. So remind yourself here, as we were talking about within the Mother, that this shows a great deal of strength and fertility in all aspects of your life, and not backing down or feeling intimidated by anything, but rather understanding that you are so capable of huge things. Little earthly kind of worries are not something you will allow to get to you. Next, we have the Seneschal. So you've only had these green, very earthy cards. Even in the first part, the first round of your reading, everything was very nature related and connected to the nature. For the Seneschal to show up, it just, we've got the dog, we've kind of birthed out of the wolf, and having all of this earthy energy is the key for 2024 for your personal success. So if you haven't been spending as much time in nature as you wanted to, 2024 is the time where you're finally kind of pushed to take those trips out in nature, to do things out in a natural environment that you otherwise wouldn't have done, that you otherwise wouldn't have gotten around to, because there was always one thing or the other. Now, putting your connection to nature first can look something like traveling to really remote, beautiful, and divine places. Think, for example, like jungle kind of vibes, Bali, doing some sort of safari, finally visiting a place in Africa or South America. Even, for example, going to Middle America, there are a lot of very jungly places there. There are amazing jungles in the Philippines too. So I definitely see you taking on a journey not just spiritually, but also physically, into some foliage and into a place where you really feel like for once you have nothing between you and Mother Earth and Mother Nature. And having this divine connection is going to profoundly change you. It is something that's going to make you think that you want to make this a day-to-day thing, even if you live in a city or you're not able to go to the forest every single day. You want to incorporate this at least a couple times a month into your routine when you're at your kind of like normal job or in a normal place. Even if you work in a city or just aren't able to get out into the nature every single day, you still want to make connecting more deeply with nature a habit from this experience on out, and at least like once a month to be able to get out into the nature. And I see that this big trip of yours is happening in September. So if you still need to save and plan and figure out where you need to go, September is a little later in the year, where also you will most likely find that travel fares are more budget friendly for where you're going. So that will have you decide, okay, this is my time, this is my opportunity, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna make the best of it. So the month of September will be the month for amazing travel opportunities for you, group number 3. Now let's add a little bit into your reading, right? As we're already, oh, I have a card that popped out, which was actually the Ace of Pentacles. Now the Ace of Pentacles always signifies a new beginning. You see how we have the Suit of Pentacles, which is the suit of the element of earth. Again, earthy energy showing up for you. For some reason, this is just the year of your earth connection. This is the year of you being more attached to natural everything than ever before. So even looking at ingredients when it comes to cooking and like cleaning ingredients, things that you use in your day-to-day life, things you consume, you're kicking out a lot of things that have harmful chemicals and substances in them. Like, you're not cool with that anymore. Next up, we've got the 10 of Pentacles. I mean, you can't make this up. You guys just saw me shuffle. There was no cut, no nothing. Again, Pentacles, the suit of the earth, the suit of everything that has to do with the material realm, with nature, but also your belongings, right? Like the things that you own, your money, your time, your health, your body, your physical body. And a 10 of Pentacles is actually a really favorable card. This is a card of rest, as you can see, because you've worked hard, you're resting on your laurels, you are rejuvenating. It makes sense that this would come up in this part of your reading, as we talked about September being the month in which you travel, in which you go on a vacation and on a holiday. And it will be so deeply nurturing, so deeply healing, and give you such a sense of relaxation that you can come back ready for anything that life has in store for you, group number 3. You can come back feeling like you've recharged, and now you've got fresh ideas for business, fresh ideas for how you're going to live life when it comes to creating your dream profession, how you're going to live life when it comes to making the kind of money that you want to make, and how you are finally going to start and succeed in those business ideas that you've had and feeling confident in it. The Caterpillar, more green, more of an earth connection. The Caterpillar shows that things won't always be as they are. In September, change is coming your way, but that is what we want, right? We want you to go out into this beautiful, spiritual, earthy experience, to a jungle kind of place. Maybe you're even going to take plant medicine, which I urge you to really research and look into, because I think just like with any of these rituals, you want to make sure that it's reputable, that you're healthy, that you're considering with a medical professional whether this is even something that would be safe for you to do. But just know here within the Caterpillar that obviously the change that comes from you having this earth connection and this big trip, this big spiritual enlightenment, is going to be like amazing. It's going to be the kind of change that leads you to the transformation like the caterpillar goes through from being a caterpillar to a butterfly, remember? And the purse shows us that what that will do is it will have you paying more attention to your finances. We spoke about how this suit is the suit of the material realms as well as money, finances, your professional life. Now the purse shows us here that what this will actually do, even though you're spiritually so much more liberated, how this will have you paying more attention to your finances is by showing you in how many ways you've been wasting money, and how many ways you have been wasteful with funds, time, energy that you could have invested in something that you love doing, but you didn't even notice it. But group number 3, don't be hard on yourself. I think we all go through phases in life where we're a little too frivolous with our spendings. We're a little bit too, unsure about the subscriptions that we've got that are still going on, that we haven't canceled just yet, and they're still charging us, even though we're not using those subscriptions. It's fine. We've all been there. Don't feel like you're the only one. But just going through 2024, you want to be an adult. You want to be so financially smart, aware, and abundant that you're not making those mistakes or not giving away any of your energy, time, or money just for free or unnecessarily. Everything is about intention. So that's what you're coming back with after your huge travel trip and spiritual enlightenment. You're coming back with a huge sense of intention and of wanting to put your resources where it really matters and gives you stability for the long haul. So investing into different things like stocks, like real estate, things that gain value that you've researched and that you know is for you. Stocks are not for everyone. Real estate isn't for everyone. Investing into companies and businesses isn't for everyone, but you can find your own path and your own avenue. You don't have to do what someone else tells you to do. You're supposed to do what you feel confident in and where you have the most knowledge, the most belief that that is where you're meant to invest your time and energy into. So group number 3, this is going to be really interesting. If you needed a sign about booking that jungle vacation, that getaway, that life-changing trip, this is it. I will now clear and cleanse the space, and then I'll be back so we can move a little more deeply into the most important messages that Spirit has for you for 2024, so you know all of the groundbreaking moments that are coming towards you, everything to look out for. Also already knowing now whether you should book things that are way in advance and what kind of impact they're going to have on your life, group number 3. So just hold on tight and I'll be right back. Welcome back, group number 3. So let's get into it. I'm gonna get out my little bag of charms. Of course, you guys, I gotta rep one of my Bow Life velvet pouches that you guys get with all of your orders that you place. So let's get into it and see what Spirit has to say to you. Right, let's see what Spirit may want to spell out for you here, shall we? So we've got the letters R, O, and A, aura, which can translate to the word aura. If you guys haven't seen my aura color video, where you can figure out precisely what your aura means and what your aura color is, check it out. It's on my channel. I do a really fun quiz in there where you can take the quiz and then figure out your aura color. Of course, this is like spelt in how you would say it. It's not the actual spelling, but Spirit is just trying to tell us all about your aura in its very own way. Then we've got the bicycle, we've got a butterfly, as well as a flower. All right, so what I'm getting here for your aura color is a very baby pink, baby blue, light green type of aura color for 2024. I definitely see here when it comes to your aura just like a phase of wanting a life of more leisure, more gentleness, less stress, and also some travel. We've got the bicycle. Even traveling by bicycle is one thing that can change your aura from being kind of a little darker to more natural colored as you would be spending more time outdoors. Let's see what else that we get. Oh, okay. We also get this little ship steering wheel. Sometimes I remember the actual name, sometimes I forget. But we've got some nautical experiences as well. So going on a boat would make sense why we're getting a baby blue vibe for your aura color. And just overall, like, this is a cute year for you. This is a year of really being in the energy of enjoying life, enjoying your existence. Oh, okay. I wanted to grab this deck, but a card popped right out of it as I was taking it towards our space. We'll read into this card, of course. But yeah, overall, soft life vibes, group number 3. Next up, we have the 5 of Swords. No wonder this card just popped into the pile. The number 5, as you can see, is a number of like competition, challenge, sometimes even like combat, if you will. So the 5 of Swords shows here that this is like the stark comparison that you've got. There will be times at work where people are really arguing and getting into it. Also, if you're still taking some sort of study or course, I want you to know in the 5 of Swords that people are going to have very differing opinions with each other, but also with like mentors, teachers, and bosses. And with the Knight of Cups, I can see that this is like the vibe that you've got. You're just watching from a distance. Like, you are watching from a safe place, sipping your bubble tea, your matcha, whatever soft life beverage it is that you're having. And look how you're just looking over here to the 5 of Swords. Like, it's none of your business, but you'll still sit here from the safe distance and just eat your popcorn and watch and observe. So you're definitely keeping yourself safe, is what I meant to say. And the Suit of Cups is the suit of your emotion and feelings. It corresponds to the element of water. So it makes a lot of sense that you don't even want to get involved in anything messy during 2024 because it's not worth it. You've experienced people who are a little messy and dramatic, and you're just not like that. You'd rather just observe how others fight, and you just get ahead. You see, you're still walking forward, and they're remaining complacent without even noticing it. So anyone who you can tell is super feisty in a way of like always wanting to argue, always wanting to have a discussion, they're actually going to be left behind in 2024 while you move forward. And here in the 4 of Cups, they're going to feel so annoyed about it. They're going to feel like for some reason you got ahead and they didn't, like everything is unfair, like the whole world is against them and things like that. That's what the 4 of Cups shows us, that they will make themselves the victim, but it's really not for you to solve. Group number 3, it's not for you to care about a coworker and someone that you deal with that in the end feels like they wasted their time and then comes to the realization that they too should have just walked away. And here in the Princess of Swords, the Suit of Swords is the suit of speaking up, communication, and your mental space. And you're just, okay, this is your side and this is what's going on with them. You're communicating very clearly, like, this is your making. You guys wanted to be in a challenging, feisty, fighting situation. Like, I was looking for my pink and blue aura. I was looking towards my goals. I was looking towards leading a soft life, and you guys maybe should have done the same rather than constantly be in some sort of brawls or arguments. Even siblings, you're just keeping away from any drama that they're experiencing, any drama at work or any drama with siblings that they're having in their romantic relationships, because you've been there, done that. You always have great advice, but when nobody takes it, it's like, why even deal with it? Why even put yourself in a situation where you're investing your time and energy in it, but nobody is actually taking the feedback on board? Next up, we've got love who you are. You are divine, delightful, and deserving of the wonderful things that life has to offer. Never forget that, all right? So group number 3, you are divine, you are delightful, you deserve the amazing things that life has to offer for you. And the thing with this is that living up to that and living into that is your huge strength, because you have come from a place of doubting to truly feeling like, you know what? I am really divine and I do really deserve all of these things. And when you believe that you deserve abundance, more abundance comes to you. The Have Faith card shows up when you have faith in a situation that is really transformative and is going to show you a completely new worldview. So it's almost like these butterflies are carrying you away from where you were, from the things that you knew, to show you a different perspective and a new place. You're going to have faith when it comes to your living situation and that bettering as well. And living like in a better neighborhood and country overall is where I see here in have faith that you're actually moving towards that, okay? You're actually, through having faith, all of a sudden you're being carried closer and closer to the lands of your dream. And the lands of your dream is really different depending on your situation. It could be home ownership, it could be moving to a different country and getting like your visa situation sorted out, getting your work sorted out so you can live in this new place stress-free. So just know here that 2024, oh, we have a card that popped out. Through faith, and also, as we have here in the Lion, through acting on the things that will really change your life rather than acting on petty dramas and little brawls, you're actually creating like a really gorgeous existence for yourself that is just so far removed from any kind of mean girl scenario. It's so far removed from who you used to be even in middle school and high school. So let's move further into it as well. So the perched bird is all about waiting on deliveries, packages, and letters. So group number 3. The online shopping is going to go a little crazy during the year 2024. And one thing that I'm getting is another reason why this needs to happen. Another pandemic type situation where at your work, also a lot of people aren't doing well. There's anyways a lot of home office going on, and even going to grocery stores, you're not feeling super comfortable because you're not 100% sure that it's where you want to be because of germs and everything like that. So in the perched bird, you're literally like the perched bird on your porch, looking at your front door, looking at your mailbox and the entryway, and just like waiting for the things to pop in that you ordered, that you're waiting for, and like regular things that actually in the long term, it saves you a lot of time to do this, even though it is in a sense far removed from socializing, like ordering groceries home, for example. That way you can actually look in your fridge and your pantry and not purchase something that you already own. The same thing goes with, for example, purchasing clothing that you already know fits you from a brand that you like, getting better deals online, and being better able to take inventory of what you have at home, and then making sure that you don't double purchase something that's already there. And of course, it does take time to arrive and everything like that, but in the end, the comfort of not having to go out is okay for you. The thing is, you're so patient. You're okay with waiting. You're okay with the fact that you will do something now and then the delayed gratification comes later. Whether that is like a fun thing like online shopping, or even waiting for your career to shift and like a side project to come to fruition, you're totally fine with waiting. And one thing here that we've got in no next up is that the reason why you're fine with waiting is because you also had a phase in your life where you were super impatient. You couldn't wait. You couldn't allow news and things to just happen. You impulse bought and impulse acted on situations, and it never really served you. Looking back, you feel like you also wasted a lot of time, energy, and money on that behavior. And the thing is, like, through meditation, you got answers. And I don't want you to feel like this means that you were meditating like every single day. Meditation could also be calming down by cleaning your house, doing household chores, and that being like your meditation, that being like your time to really relax, to regain your strength. And in a sense, it is like meditation. For me, there are different forms of meditation. Of course, there's the one where you sit on the ground and you actually meditate, and that is really powerful. But there's also the kind of meditation where I'm putting on makeup, where I'm doing self-care, where I'm out and I'm on a run and I'm working. I'm working on new tarot and oracle decks. I am growing my business. I am fulfilling wholesale orders for my decks and my jewelry and everything that I've got in my store, shipping it to all of these little indie shops worldwide, etc. Like all of that can be meditation. And one thing here for you, group number 4, is to look for a sign so you don't judge yourself if you're not really good at or into traditional meditation. Look for a sign for what your meditation is to bring you even more answers in the future. Your meditation could also be singing, making music, dancing, cooking, cleaning, reorganizing. Just know your unique form of meditation is so valid, and you should lean into that more. Like, as long as it makes you feel good, there's no reason not to continue. The same goes for, like, you guys know I offer one-on-one readings and sessions every now and then. I've got them, like, I've got this little calendar that I set up on my website where you can see all of the available dates, and then you can book your slot for a one-on-one reading and life coaching. And I remember one of you guys said to me, well, like, I don't know, I feel so much better when I do a life coaching session and tarot reading with you, like every week, every 2 weeks, or whenever you offer it. And I immediately book a slot whenever you have offered it, because it just makes me feel better than therapy. It just helps me in a way more. I feel more motivated. I feel like I've got more clarity through this. I said to this person who books my sessions every time they see a free slot, like, it's okay. It just needs to work for you. If you feel like this works better than therapy, if you feel like tuning into our private one-on-one sessions or my YouTube videos help you feel better, help you actually get things done and build your confidence, and that's just what makes you feel better than the traditional therapy, and right now that is more suitable for you, don't judge yourself. If it works, it works. At the end of the day, we got to care about the results on our physical health, our mental health. So I always recommend to everyone to do whatever suits them, even if it's unconventional, even if it feels like, well, you know, the traditionally known way is maybe the one that I should do, but I feel better doing something else. Who cares? Group number 3. For example, I'm the kind of person who truly, like, I don't like the traditional way of eating, for example. Like, I do not like to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner at a certain time. I do not like to eat meat and dairy. I do not like to drink alcohol. So why should I? If it doesn't make me feel good, why should I even have, for example, 1 glass of an alcoholic beverage when meeting with friends or going out somewhere if I don't like it, if it doesn't serve me? The same goes for therapy. Like, for a while I decided, rather than, for example, going to therapy, I would rather take singing lessons because I just feel better after that. So that is like my therapy. Some of you guys book my one-on-one coaching sessions because that is your therapy. Because whenever I go to my singing classes, yeah, they're expensive. They're a lot more expensive than some of these therapy sessions, but I get so much more out of it. Like, the result, the life quality, how good I feel about myself, it's priceless. And so for a while I've decided to just do that, and maybe I'll continue doing that. But the thing is, like, don't be afraid to shift and move with whatever feels right and good for you at any given point. You do not have to confine yourself into this small space that isn't meant for you, or into like a particular box or shape that clearly is maybe healthy, but there's something that works better. Always choose what works best for you, group number 3. That's the message that we've got here. Look for a sign, feeling better, feeling more mentally stable, feeling really confident about yourself, like you can do anything, and then actually having taken action is what I meant to say. And often that also has a huge effect on your bottom line financially too. When you actually take action, you're more motivated to work, to do your projects, to work on your own business, to study, to just grow as a person. In the end, you make that money back tenfold. So that's why I, for example, really love to invest in singing lessons. I also love to invest in facials and massages every now and then, or getting my toenails done. It seems vain and everything like that, but sometimes you just need some of these things that you love to do, and don't judge them, because the sign that it's something you should invest in is how good you feel afterward, is how you feel about yourself and how it makes you act. Now, group number 3, this is the reading that I've received for you, and I hope that you've enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Feel free to let me know below in the comment section. I love reading your comments, and I try to respond back to as many as I can. And group 3, just thank you for your support, your love, for being here. I hope this prepared you for 2024 and you feel like you really know what to look out for now compared to before you tuned into this video, and that you're feeling calm and grounded. I love you all so much, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all of my beautiful souls of group number 4. Now, you chose the Dark Heart Tarot deck as well as the Rose Quartz Crystal. And you guys, this is my deck. For all of you who are new, this is the deck that I wrote and self-published. Here's the box. This is what it looks like. And yeah, it comes in this gorgeous magnet box. It has all of these beautiful like gold details. And of course, let me just get the guidebook out. It comes with a guidebook too. Look, it's even got like the beautiful gold details on the side of this guidebook, because you guys know I go crazy for quality and details with my tarot and oracle decks, and every single card is explained in here if you are new to tarot. So don't say I didn't tell you so. The link to the Dark Heart Tarot deck is below in the description box. This is a very limited quantity run. There is still some stock, but with like Christmas and everything, I gotta say the stock is depleting quickly. So if you want to grab one of these decks to add it to your collection, don't say I didn't tell you so. Now, you chose the Rose Quartz Crystal, as this is the stone of friendship as well as overall romantic love. And when you chose this crystal, you may have not been aware of the fact that what this means for 2024 is that your relationships are going to better themselves. That's why you felt drawn to this stone, because your relationships need a little bit of extra love. If you're that person that gets caught up in life, love, and challenges and can forget some of their friends and family, and you feel bad for checking in on them or taking really long to reply to their messages, and then I know it's so weird to do this, but let me know if you do this anyways. Like, you see someone texted you and you haven't replied in so long, and time just keeps trekking onwards, and at some point you're like, I haven't replied to them in like a week, 2 weeks, I might as well just not say anything at all. It's like, doesn't make sense logically speaking, but somehow when you deal with anxiety, when you deal with these kind of like overwhelm challenges, sometimes your brain just offers you solutions that are not really solutions and not super logical. So don't feel bad about that, because you're getting better at it in the year 2024. Now, the Queen of Crystals is also indicative that this year is, I mean, the Queen of Crystals reversed, you guys. For all of you who are new to tarot, the cards are read upright and also reverse. And reverse, they have a different meaning than when they're upright. Now, in reverse, this symbol and this card showing up is all about you being a lot less hard on yourself and treating yourself the way you would treat friends and family, while at the same time, like we spoke about with the Rose Quartz, focusing more on your connections and relationships than you have in the past, and kind of also like giving yourself the same love that you give others. Now, next we've got the Three of Pentacles upright. This card showing up, as you can see, we've got these coins and you're holding them up like this. They're kind of in the palm of your hands. They're falling into your hands, if you will. So this shows us that professionally speaking and financially, you've got a lot to carry and to pick up, but that's a good thing, right? Remind yourself, if you've got a full plate, that the whole point was to eat. Of course your plate is going to be full. Your plate is also going to be full with responsibility, of course, and full with tasks to do, but there will also be rewards. The Three of Pentacles tells us that when it comes to your career and your work, helping yourself by involving other people is the best way for you to move forward in 2024 to make the most money. So rather than doing everything by yourself, try to get some help. Even if it's, for example, help in your home, getting somebody to clean, to organize your space, that will not only allow you to rest more, but potentially also to work more. And if you make more per hour or in a day than you would pay somebody to come like once a month to clean your space, it may already be a really worthwhile investment. And just imagine the internal headspace that will free up and the limited amount of time that you're going to have to spend like cleaning and feeling tired doing that and procrastinating it in general. Now, the page of crystals shows us here that 2024 is actually a time for you to have a reinvention of your style and really youthful energy. As you can see here in the page of crystals, we've got this really cool extra long hairstyle, so let's not be surprised if you actually grow out your hair, if that's part of your journey. If your goal is to grow it out this long, honestly, rosemary oil really helps you guys, and you can make that yourself. Just Google it. Extensions, of course, help. Wigs help. Whatever you got to do to get to that look. But I see with the page of crystals that you're also really focused on like a holistic approach so that you are remaining healthy while still attaining the kind of external facade that you wish to attain. And also like your clothing, it's giving elegant, it's giving youthful, it's giving feminine, girly, but also not to be played with, also very unique and elegant. So it looks very old money to me. It looks to me as though you're upgrading your style. You are not feeling the need to wear anything too revealing or anything that is too contemporary. You're more into timeless elegance. 2024 also brings more happiness because you're simplifying your life. I see that within the Queen of Crystals reversed as well as the Three of Pentacles upright. You're simplifying your life and having less tasks just scattered around that you always need to think about is something that gives you more time to relax and just really enjoy life. The Sun is one of the most positive cards in the tarot. It's actually a card of feeling really good about yourself in the sense of having confidence, feeling warmth, joy, love, and closeness with other people as well. And okay, we've also got the Five of Pentacles reverse, which marks the end of a financially challenging time. If you've been going through some financial worries and hardship, asking yourself how you're going to pay off certain loans and debts and ways in which your account may be in the red or in the minus, 2024 provides the opportunity for you to be free of that worry. And that also adds to your happiness and feeling really free and elated, because it does feel like sometimes it's like this taboo topic to talk about how financial hardship is affecting your mental health and affecting how you're feeling and how upbeat you are about life. And I think because there's a lot of shame connected to money and debt and just financially not having a lot of it, I think a lot of us suffer in silence. I think a lot of times you don't know who to turn to or if you can even mention it, and it's kind of swept under the rug. And I think 2024 and the years beyond, but maybe I or we are ahead of our time. There's going to come a wave of people finally talking about these things and what kind of impact it has on our mental health. Mental health is just being spoken about more now, and I think we'll go into more detail about how financial pressures can also mentally really impact people and make people very unhappy and very kind of depleted. So it's great that you're able to get out of it, because then you will be able to speak about it. I see that here within the Spirit Guardian of Summer. We've got a huge expansion of your empire and your assets in 2024. As you can see, your tree bears a lot of fruit. It was nerve-wracking to plant the tree, to wait for the seed to turn into a sapling and to grow into this tree and then eventually bear fruit. but you got there. And one of the things that you will always hold close to your heart is to remember where you came from and where you started off. And I see that you're feeling compelled to talk about the hardships that you went through to go to where you are now. And you are the kind of person that wants to be transparent and real about what really went on behind the scenes, and not just pretend like a lot of people do on social media that everything is all fine, and it always was all fine. The Willow Spirit shows that of course you're not going to like air your dirty laundry to others or to the internet all the time, but you're also not the kind of person to just brush over what you've been through, because you know that the flexibility to talk about it will inspire others to know that it's okay to go through tough times. It's okay to struggle, and also you can get out of it, because guess what? All my gorgeous souls of group number 4 were able to get out of it. Now, here within the Maple Spirit, 2024 brings you like a huge feeling of being generous and of giving, okay? Because you've got more than enough. You feel like it's your responsibility to give back to your community, to give back to charity, and to give to friends and family too. You're giving in many different ways, whether that is financial or your time. And I want to see like the month in which your generosity takes on its height. So we've got the month of June. The month of June is a meaningful one because there is a project you're working on that is completely coming from your heart. Okay, there is help that you're providing in June that is just completely coming from being generous and wanting to do something good. And here within June and our Maple Spirit, I just want you to know that karma is a real thing. When you do good, you receive good. So the more you're actually planting seeds in 2024 for an amazing, blessed, and successful 2025, 2026, and so on and so forth. Next up, we have the tent. So now we see where you're being helpful and generous. You are helping someone out who doesn't have a place to live. You're helping someone out whose home was destroyed and who just can't give themselves basic things like meals, food, and a roof over their head, basic like medical supplies and attention, basic things such as clean water, such as actually being like in a safe environment. So that's where I can see here in the tent that of course it is temporary, the help that you're providing, but it's helping someone get back up in the long term. So 2024 is the year of kindness, love, and philanthropy for you, group number 4. What I'll do now is I'll clear and cleanse the space, and I'll be back so we can get a little more in depth within your reading. So just hang on tight and I'll be right back. All right, welcome back, group number 4. Let's see what Spirit has to say about the year 2024 for you. I've got letters in here, by the way, so we're just going to pull them out intuitively. And yes, you guys, of course, I need to rep my Bow Life pouches that I give you guys with all the orders that you've got in my online store, because I love to spoil and pamper you guys. So let's get into it. We've got H, we've got E, as well as D. Okay, so head, for example. One thing that we've got here within head is the fact that like your crown chakra, your third eye chakra, that is important for 2024. Now, what does that mean? That means when you're feeling like you're getting a headache, when you feel like you're having this brain fog, the reason why that's happening is because you are not acting in your highest intention. And that's when you will be called to redirect. Now, group number 4, don't be surprised if in the year 2024, these headaches show up. And if you're not like a headache person, you will all of a sudden experience them when Spirit is trying to nudge you to move in a direction that is authentic. So whenever you're doing something that you don't really want to do, your head, your third eye, so that is the spot between like your eyebrows, just a little higher up, that is going to feel weird. You're going to feel it tingle. You're going to somehow notice that it's getting a little warm along that spot. And yeah, the reason here is opposition. You are meant to finally stop people pleasing or pretending to be someone that you're not, and to confront the parts of yourself that has felt the need to just fit in and just give up your authenticity at times to keep the peace. Now, this is something that shows up for people who have come from really strict backgrounds in their family. If this is the case for you, group number 4, then this message will be important for you. For all of you who felt like you weren't really from a strict background, this may be something that comes out differently, but we'll get into that in just a second. So if you come from the strict family background, strict traditions, values, morals, religion, and so on, I want you to know here that that belief system being in opposition with the free spirit that you actually are is something that finally has to untangle. You are not meant to live your whole life feeling like on one hand you want to please your family, your community, and your upbringing, and then on the other hand you have who you truly are. That is where you will feel like tension that must be released, and the only way it can be released is if you live your life authentic to you and your values. If you grew up in a household that was more free-spirited, I want you to know that you have this confrontation with the parts of this free-spiritedness that never served you. Like if your parents didn't take proper care of teaching you a hygiene routine or teaching you what kind of people to stay away from, so just protect yourself from hurt, from being used and so on. If you had parents who didn't put a lot of effort into you because they were too busy with themselves, that is also where you in 2024, you will have headaches when you talk to them, because there's this trauma that's boiling back up of when you were parentified. You had to take on roles that parents and caregivers should have taken on for you, but you had to sacrifice parts of your childhood to do that. And even just talking about them, even just hearing the denial when you're speaking to them is something that we need to confront and let go of for 2024, because in a sense, of course, we're not letting them off the hook or saying it's okay what happened. But at the same time, for how long do we want this to be able to control us? You know what I mean? Group number 4, for how long would you like to have to live this life where you remind them or remind yourself of the fact that you had a pretty unfair childhood and you could have benefited from more rules and more of a attentive parent that actually gave life into the things you loved and actually decentralized themselves from being like the epicenter of the universe. Now, the Princess of Pentacles shows us that you're actually finding really creative and fun ways in which you can build off of even the trauma that you've had, because you won't let it define you, group number 4, and you are a fighter. If there's one thing that you were taught during your upbringing, is to not give up, is to remain a fighter, is to understand that no matter how big the challenge may seem, it's okay. You can get through it and you can find a way. Also, you've been through bigger challenges than 2024. This is not a particularly challenging year. Now, the Knight of Swords shows us here that you are also just turning your back to communication with anyone who has this kind of confrontation vibe to them. That's why we've also got opposition in the head. You're thinking really rationally when it comes to people who have a very, very confrontative, even a word, who have a very confrontational nature is probably more accurate here. So people who always need to have the last word, whose egos get bruised very easily, narcissists, overall people who have a lot of desire and need for control, like legit control issues, turning your back on those, group number 4, you just cannot with confrontation. The only confrontation you're having in 2024 is the confrontation of loving your life enough to let them go, loving your life enough to walk away, loving yourself so much that you will just not even let opposition be a thing that exists within your world. Like, no. Next up, we've got the Hanged Man for you. Now, the Hanged Man shows up when you see things from a different perspective, but also when you take time to chill and relax, because the Hanged Man is willingly hanging upside down. There is no struggle here when it comes to the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is literally sleeping upside down. That's how comfortable the Hanged Man is to see things from a different perspective, because if this card were upright, it would look very different. And even thinking of yourself as being in the position of the Hanged Man, if you were upright like this, then you would see the world from a very different perspective than if you're upside down, right? So that is the message here, that you're comfortable with both. You're comfortable with seeing every side of the equation, and it doesn't make you sweat. So even if you're in a disagreement, in a discussion with someone, like, you don't need them to agree with you. You don't need them to have the same opinion as you. And you can see their opinion even if it differs from yours. Your ego isn't so big and rigid that you just dismiss them. And that is one thing that sets you apart from a lot of other peers in your age and your situation. And the thing here within the star is that this is actually a card of hope. This is a card of being very revolutionary. So 2024 actually shows that through this mindset that is just so forward thinking and so pure and so focused on the positives, you will have a year of a huge change in the sense of a lot of the things that you hoped you could attain being closer to touch. And I want to also add some charms into this, shall we? So let's see what we receive charm-wise. We've got the shell and also the butterfly. So I do see here with the shell that we've got like a nautical experience. Anything that has to do with water has to do with your emotions. And of course the butterfly is symbolic of lightness after the transformation and successfully going through a life-altering transformation. So emotional transformation is what we've got here within the star for you for the year 2024. And this emotional transformation is something that you felt coming, but it only becomes really clear later in 2024. Let's actually add a month of the year into this, when this transformation will be evident and people will say to you, oh my God, you've changed so much. All right, so we've got November as the stage in which you look back and you realize that you've transformed and changed so much. And it shows in the people that are around you too, because your circle becomes not necessarily smaller, but just filled with different type of people. Transformation and leveling up doesn't always mean that your circle has to be so small or non-existent. Sometimes it means that the people within that circle are just different people, but you still know a lot of people. You still have friends. So the wedge shows that someone is trying to come between you and a friend or something that you want. And it makes a lot of sense here with the opposition. So there is someone who wants to confront, who wants to come in between you and a friend, even like think your romantic partner too, as we did have the rose quartz being the stone of your choice, which is the stone of love. And the wedge is something that I want you to look out for when you're thinking someone is, a little frenemy maybe. And to not take that lightly, but instead actually listen to your intuition on this group number 4, because your intuition doesn't lie. And remind yourself how often people say, oh, she's just a friend, and ends up they were sleeping with their friend, which is a very interesting way to describe your good friend. But just know here within the wedge, of course, if someone will allow that to happen, do you even want them in your life, or did you just, allow them to become someone else's problem? But you also want to look out to just protect your relationships by keeping people who try to drive wedges into your personal life out. So don't talk too much about your personal life. Don't even share who you're dating or who you're with, if you can, for a really long time. Don't share too much information about them. Don't bring them around. Those aunties that just are always up to no good, that just always have something mean to say. Yeah, there are all of these little micro wedges and cuts that you can protect yourself and your abundance from. That's why Spirit is now bringing the abundance card into your reading. Look at this beautiful, abundant vibe. This also very beautiful depiction of Jupiter that we've got here, as Jupiter is the planet of abundance and also like travel, long distance travel. So we are catching flights, not unnecessary feelings, especially if those are feelings of like argumentative vibes. No, thank you, ma'am. We're not doing that. You're living the good life. We've got a lot of fruit and vegetable. We've even got some wine if that is something that you enjoy, group number 4, and a very like elegant setting. Okay, so buying gorgeous fruit and vegetable for your home, buying wine and just being like a grown girl, drinking a little glass of wine every now and then when you're alone at home. I personally don't drink alcohol at all, but I understand the vibe, okay? I know the philosophy behind living that kind of life. So don't feel judged. Don't feel like, oh, I shouldn't do that, or, well, you know, maybe I'm being too much, I'm being too quote unquote bougie. You are not. The first house is telling you, group number 4, you have arrived in 2024. You have arrived at a stage in your life where, yeah, pamper yourself. Do things that you see women and people in movies doing, that is just a vibe that just shows they romanticize their life. They romanticize the things that they do. They romanticize their existence, and they're not ashamed of it. And neither should you be, group number 4. You should never be ashamed of treating yourself, romanticizing your life, and doing things that just look so aesthetically pleasing. If there was a camera in the room and you could show someone else like, hey, look, this is what I'm doing tonight. So definitely know here within the upcoming year that you've got a very sweet, romanticized version coming up that you are creating by just like adding the little things into your life, like as already mentioned, the wine, the fruit, eating those healthy things, like already pre-washing fruit so that it's ready for you to consume and you don't constantly feel like it's a hassle to have healthy things. Now, the spiny sea dragon is about living your own traditions, values, and norms. Like, you literally can't make this up. We just entered this part of your reading speaking about that, how important it is for you to live your own traditions. Let me just put this card over here. Live your own traditions, your own values, your own norms, to live for you and not society, your family, or organized religion. And next up, we've got the blue shark. So in the blue shark, I just want you to know that 2024 is no accident. Serendipity is meant to be. And in case you don't know what serendipity means, because I didn't know before I created this deck of mine, this below the surface deck that I like to call BTS deck, because I'm also a huge K-pop fan. So with serendipity meant to be, these are positive coincidences. This is positive extra money flowing into your account, positive surprises that you just didn't see coming. But the thing is, like, it is meant to be, group number 4. Let me just put it over here so we can make this an aesthetically pleasing table with your cards. Now, group 4. I hope that you've enjoyed your reading up until this point, that you're vibing, chilling, relaxing, and getting a lot of insight for the year 2024. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear and cleanse the space, and I'll be right back so we can delve a little more deeply into your 2024 prediction and reading. So just hang on tight, and I'll be right back with you. Welcome back, group number 4. Let's delve a little more deeply into your reading, shall we? And if you're looking at this deck and wondering why it's got different colors, this is called the African Gods Oracle. I got this not super long ago, and as you can see, some of the cards are like a lighter color, some of them are a black color. That's just how this deck is designed. So yeah, this is all one deck, and let's see what we're gonna get. So I will intuitively stop shuffling when I feel like Spirit has your next message, and I think that is now group number 4. So we've got Okaran, which demonstrates the dangers of the worlds that are kind of always lurking, which I know it can feel like, oh my god, why is this showing up in my reading? Well, When you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Group number 4. And that is the motto for 2024. Better to be safe than sorry. Better to be a little bit overly careful, overly protective, than once again be very trusting, generous, and put yourself out there just to be burned by having trusted the wrong people. So that is the message we've got for you that's important for you to hear. And if you needed a sign that it's okay to keep people at a distance, and that when people pressure you, it's actually just a red flag from them, listen to it and remind yourself you're not missing out at all when someone makes you feel like you're not acting quickly enough, and that for some reason, like, your speed of wanting to open up to them is not up to par. When that happens, huge red flag, especially romantically speaking, okay? Any guys, straight men especially, that make you feel like pressured or make you feel like, well, he's taking me out on like these dates, well, you know, he's already waited so long, so what? Does that make him entitled to your body? Absolutely not. Does that make him entitled to anything? No. Because your value is not just in your body and your sexuality. Your value is in who you are, and having the opportunity to even breathe the same air as you, to be in the same room with you, to experience your energy, your kindness, and your greatness. Next up, within Demonstrate Love, this is a card that shows us that you're finding out what is important to those that you love, and then you act on it. Like, figuring out what the people around you really thrive off of and giving them that, and seeing how they just absolutely love it and glow up when you give them the things that they've always needed and wanted from a relationship. That brings you immense joy. And this just shows what a selfless person that you are. And in the heart of the matter, there's a very important message. It says that there is more going on than meets the eye. We do have like a little child here that's sleeping, and I'm getting like pregnancy vibes. I'm getting that there will be a surprise pregnancy where there's more going on than meets the eye. So someone around you is pregnant. Someone around you in 2024 will have more going on in their body than everybody expected. We also have master number 22. So don't be surprised if this is someone you've known for a long time and they tell you before everybody else. And of course, like, there's more going on than meets the eye because they're growing a whole entire human inside of themselves. This showing up within your reading, I just also want you to know that it is a card for people who are in a committed relationship and who are looking to expand their family. So in the heart of the matter, this is also a card that shows it's fine for you to be going through fertility struggles, to be wanting to expand your family, but not telling anyone, not telling the existing kids, and just kind of like working on it with your partner, having more going on behind closed doors than you want to say to others, because also you shouldn't share the news with others too soon in case anything were to go wrong or happen. So you are just being like extra careful. I see that in connectivity to the Okaran card as well. So we've got the number 2 and 22 here. So this is giving us 222 vibes. And we also just had the King of Pentacles reverse that came out of this pile. Now, what this actually is asking you to do for 2024, and I know this is so annoying to do, but your guides and angels can see that it will really help you, is to look into your health insurance. And if you have a current plan, there are better, safer deals out there. So better insurances that cover more things and will just overall be cheaper in the long term, because yours has adjusted their prices and it's just not making sense anymore. And there is some fine print that you can look into that you're going to find actually excludes a lot of services that you may want, especially as you're seeing there's more than meets the eye to life, also in things such as family building and family planning. You want to make sure that you've got an insurance that even as you grow older and potentially like add to your own family or have your own family, that should you ever be unwell or ill or something happen that is a result of a pregnancy or a childbirth within your family, that you know, it's covered and it's taken care of. So the Page of Pentacles shows embarking on some new journeys health-wise, because you're looking at things from the higher perspective. Like, you want to be a really great parent, you want to be someone that your kids will look up to, and someone who is responsible, someone that shows how to lead, how the ropes work, and that it's also okay to change your mind. Like we spoke about with your health insurance situation, you can change your mind, you can do something else and differently. You don't have to remain complacent in a spot where you just know it's not for you anymore. Now, next up, we've got the star. So group 4, the star shows us hope, but also self-reflection and getting a little emotional through self-reflection. Like, you're feeling a little bit like you're not quite sure what to do next. You've come really far, but at the same time, you're tired and you want to work hard, but you also just want to be a stay-at-home mom. You also just want to be like a stay-at-home partner. So there are a lot of options in 2024. There will be like a little bit of emotionality, opening up to your romantic partner and saying to them how you feel and what you're going through. But I'm really getting like family planning and family building vibes, even if you take your time to family plan and family build. And 2024 is not when you immediately want to do everything, but just even already looking at moving into a better neighborhood and building something where, yes, there is compromise, but the compromise makes sense, right? Like, you would rather compromise and maybe spend a little bit more, but buy organic foods to nourish your body. Spend a little bit more, but the balance is you're in a safer neighborhood where you don't need security cameras everywhere, for example, or you know that you can sleep better, which results in you doing better work and making more money. So compromises don't always need to mean that you're getting a shorter end of the stick. Sometimes it is just being logical and in the end actually having a better deal than if you didn't compromise. It's just like a delayed gratification deal, right? So to communicate this really clearly, with delayed gratification deal, I mean buying organic and healthy foods in the moment. Maybe you want something unhealthy and cheap, but in the long term, investing in healthy is going to serve you. Just as in the moment, you'd maybe rather have a cheaper place to live, but then in the long term, you'll realize the cheaper place is costing you more because things are constantly breaking down. As mentioned, you feel like you're lacking when it comes to your safety, or that you even have to take extra safety measures. You feel like it's kind of further away from the places you want to go, so it's costing you more time and money to get to the nice establishments, grocery stores, and neighborhoods that you also frequent and want to upgrade to, and where you're kind of also going to enjoy the energies and meet other people. So the thing that your guides are urging you to do, group number 4, is to communicate clearly what you want. Because if you don't communicate clearly what you want to the universe and to your guides, it's just, how are you going to manifest these things, right? How are you going to bring them to fruition and bring them into existence? So communicating clearly is a huge aspect of your success, because when you communicate clearly what you want to yourself, to your guides, the universe, it is absolutely, there's not a doubt in anyone's mind, and it already puts you on the track to getting it. But the thing is, like, when you're shy, when you feel like you don't really want to say what it is that you want because it might sound like you're dreaming too big or you're crazy or over the top, group number 4, just look at some of these mediocre people out here that are accomplishing huge things and they're not even nice, okay? I'm not saying that is always the case, but there are a few cases like that, and all that they've got is belief in themselves. Like, they don't have anything else. So it is a simple recipe, a simple formula. Believe in what you want, communicate it clearly, and don't be afraid of what others may think. Don't be afraid of even like failing or taking a little bit more time to get there. Because as they say, shoot for the moon and you'll still land among one of the stars. Now, the 4 of Cups shows us here, you're pouting, okay? Are we being a little dramatic, group number 4? Because your guides are trying to say to you, hey, why are you pouting at our little communicate clearly discussion? Why are you being a little bit reserved when it comes to talking about your goals, because we also have you blushing, right? We have this face that's really red and really just like a little bit like, oh no, I don't want this drink. I don't want this really, really yummy looking boba bubble tea. I'm good. Group number 4, closed mouths don't get fed. Remember it. Let's just repeat it one more time for good measure. So closed mouths don't get fed. If you don't open your mouth, if you don't say what it is that you desire, then you may be overlooked, and it's not necessary for this to happen. So why let it happen? Group number 4, right? Why allow this to even be something that takes place? But oh, we also have like this snack. And maybe that's also why you're feeling a little shy. The King of Wands is someone who has fire sign energy. So think Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. They are temperamental. They are good looking. They are like a protector. They have really great energy, great posture, and they are fiery. This person in 2024 is someone that you look up to, but also someone that is interested in you. See how they're holding this rose? Even though there's thorns, they're still holding tightly onto it, because that's a rose for you, group number 4. That is something that they're going to bring for you on a first date. So when you're meeting up with somebody, they give you this rose. Remember your 2024 reading that you had, okay? And when I told you that this person was coming into your life, I'll also just tell you precisely when, because I don't want any of you guys to think like, oh, well, you know, that could be any time. No, we'll be precise. So we've got September, and we will also add 2 possible dates for this time in which you will receive this red rose. We already have a dice that just like rolled itself in. It's got the number 6 to it, so the number 6 is your number, 6th of September. And then, okay, we've got the number 6 again. The number 6 it is, group number 4. The number 6 is the most powerful one and is the most likely one for you to go on this date, receive the red rose, and meet the King of Wands. Thank me later. Now, group number 4, this is your 2022 prediction that I've received for you. I hope that you've enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Of course, don't forget to let me know in the comment section. Also, all of my crystal rings and tarot cards and oracle decks can be found on my website, BoLife. And you guys, if you love this space, if you feel comfortable in it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel to join the Unicorn Fam. We've got some big things coming for us in the year 2024, and I can't wait for you to be part of the journey. So group 4, thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings.